Living Light, a meditative guide by Jack Wachkowski. Rule number 1, make, do not buy. Rule number 2, avoid new unless necessary. And rule number 3, don't spend on things. This one does not work. At some point later in my high school career, I started to grow disdainful for all the shit I had accumulated in my life. Not books, mostly clothes. And at some point, I remember writing, "I'm drowning in stuff," in one of my journals. I literally had a mental burden that carried with me wherever I went. On a trip to a camp over the summer, to a tournament somewhere off in a distant state, I would remember the stuff I had waiting for me back at home. And eventually, I decided to move into this, a shed in my backyard. Originally built for poker and beers, it became my house at the end of my junior year of high school. So I started to purge, which for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's basically when you cut bait with all your old shit once a year, however often you want to do it. And every year since then, for the most part, I've done a purge. Mostly getting rid of the clothes that I didn't wear the year prior, but also getting rid of anything else that was extra, anything I didn't want anymore, anything that was excess. And this all culminated this past year. After I graduated college, I went to take a road trip across the country and had to fit everything I owned into the bed of a pickup truck. My problem, though, wasn't the purge. I never really had a moment where I regretted something that I got rid of, whether I threw it out or gave it away. The problem really started because over this same time period that I was getting rid of all my stuff, all my clothes, I also stopped buying new things. And when it comes to gadgets and cameras or what have you, that doesn't really matter, but when it comes to clothes, it kind of does. See, I was recently reading this article, an interview with this guy, Tom Sachs. Here he is. He's an artist in New York City, and he said something in the article that really jumped out to me, especially in the context of what I'm talking about right now. The quote goes something like this: "The cheapest shirt is the one you paid $100 for, but you wear every day." And he goes on to talk about this idea of consumerism and cost per wear. So if you get a $10 shirt, but you only wear it once, that's $10. But if you have a $100 shirt that you wear 100 times, that's $1. And it got me thinking about this predicament that I've been in, this problem I've been facing. Here's the rub. As I got rid of all my stuff, I stopped buying new things. When I finally packed up and left school, my wardrobe was the final thing to go. Now, out of my already limited supply, I'm left with only a handful of clothes I like. Those are worn almost every day, and they wear down extremely quickly. This has left me feeling worn down, unprofessional, unpresentable, and I believe this hinders my success and my happiness. To do this, I set out to make, for the first time in my life, a deliberate investment into the clothes that further my success and my happiness, that make me feel good, presentable, professional. So spending money, yes. Buying new things, yes. But for a purpose. And doing it in a way that allows me to have only a small subset of goods, of possessions, but all of which serve a larger purpose, that help further my life, not detract from it. So, I divided my future wardrobe into categories. From here, I could go about addressing each one at a time based on their respective requirements. Now to start with shorts, I like them tight and I like them black. It allows me to be nimble. And luckily this past summer, I found the best pair of shorts that I've ever worn in my life. Granted, at the time they were blue, but I wore them literally every single day. So I set out, scoured the internet, found them in black and in my size, and bought what I literally think are the last pairs on the internet. Underwear is a quick one. I also like them tight and I like them black. We'll leave it at that. Shirts are up next. They don't all have to be black, but they definitely can have logos, and they've got to be solid colors. This past Christmas, my mom got me a great 3-pack of shirts that I really loved. So to keep it easy, I just went out and bought another 3-pack in black to round it all out. Now, sweaters for me are a staple. Crew neck sweaters live somewhere between a long sleeve shirt and a sweatshirt. And if you find the right ones, you can get one item of clothing that serves both purposes. Again, I don't like logos and I like solid colors. And I had already found my favorite sweater that I had ever found in my life probably about a year ago. So to keep it simple, I just went right back out and I bought 4 pairs, mixed up the colors a little bit more this time, and I was able to move on from the old raggedy one that I've literally been wearing since 2019. Now, one last category has caused me issues time and time again, and it's probably the reason why I haven't actually sat down and put in the work to go through this process. As long as I've been alive, as long as I can remember, pants have been a huge pain point in my life. So much so that for the past 5 years, I've almost exclusively worn blue jeans. Pairs I have in my closet right now are literally about to fall apart. And when I have ventured off to try new things, like my current pair of black chinos, I'm rewarded with shitty quality, colors that run, waistbands that are too tight, tapers that are too loose. Now, I recognize that I have a lot of specifics for my pants, but I figured there had to be at least one pair out there that would check most, or even just some of those boxes. So I went out, I bought them all, and I got to work. I had to try on each one, obviously, assess for color, movability, flexibility, runability of the color, everything that I had already run into over the course of my life. I had to try them on with each of my pairs of shoes, see what they would look like. I had to do the work, the thing that I've been avoiding for so long. But eventually, I found my pair. They're not perfect, but they're close enough to allow me to call it a day. So, now I've got my wardrobe. 2 pairs of shorts, 11 pairs of underwear, 6 shirts, 4 sweaters, and soon to be 3 pairs of pants. Now the old stuff is either going straight to Goodwill or being retired into woodworking wear. And except for 1 or 2 pieces of nostalgia, that's it. I'm done. That's the wardrobe. That's the living light.